should have said that earlier.
For biology, it says test tomorrow, there's not. I wrote that without looking at my notes. The test for that section is after the next chapter, so the next unit. So I will give you, we're gonna do the review in chapter 3. I will give you some numbers for that. Hopefully after this period. All right. All right, what is coefficient?
Actually, 3x.
3 is a coefficient. 3x is called a term. Actually, -2 is also a term, but what else is -2?
It is a
Constant.
A constant. Why is it a constant?
Because it doesn't have whatever the x
It's
is.
gonna stay.
What is the x?
I have no, a variable.
A variable, and that means you can substitute something else for it. So the x is a variable, 3x is a term, -2 is also a term, but it's a constant as well. So, if it says combine like terms, and you have 3x plus 4x minus 3 plus 2, how would you combine like terms?
So you go
You
3x.
go negative, you go 3 minus, no, negative 3
How's
plus
English
2
working for you? Alright, -3 plus 2, which is,
equals negative 1. And
alright,
then you go 3x plus 4x is 7x.
7x. Right.
What's wrong?
Now what's your variable in there?
And
X. What's your coefficient, Cody?
7.
What's a term, Leah?
7x.
And what is your constant?
1, -1.
-1. All right. Cool. Let us check lesson 3. Oh. Tell me about a like term first.
Like terms are the same.
Okay, so they're the same as in,
They have
Like 7y plus 7y.
okay. Those are not
which one's the like, where are the like terms here?
2x squared and -3x squared. Those are like terms.
Those are like terms. Why are they like terms?
Because everything's the same.
Well, they have exponents.
They have the same
Exponents
And
the same
variable.
variable.
the same exponent and the same variable, and that makes them like terms.
Mr. Kent,
Yes.
so, just say there's a 2y cubed, and then there's a 3x squared, and the y is, so, yeah, and so say y is 2. So you
Okay.
say y is 2, and then we say x is 3.
Yep.
Well, doesn't, wait a second. Something went wrong when I used it. But like, if you have two things in square, whatever, they somehow came out with the same number, even though they're different variables and exponents. Can you just leave that?
Okay, so here's the thing: is a variable can be any number unless you specify it, right? So yes, you can have an x and a y that are a 2. They're both 2's. That's fine. The problem is in the case that would stand for something else. Like if, say you're talking about use a rectangle, for example. Obviously, if it's a square, we're going to say side squared, right? But we go area equals LW. Now, there's no reason you can't use this formula if you have a 2 and a 2 here. You just go 2 times 2.
Yeah.
It's just that it could stand for something else.
It's not being possible. Right.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is you can use this formula for that and it works fine. You just have to understand that it could stand for, like this could have been a 3 instead, and then you'd have to change your formula.
Which I
You'd
can.
have to change, you'd have to substitute different numbers, yes.
So they say the area of a parallelogram is A equals base times height, and they say the area of a rectangle is A equals length times width. Is there actually, like if they ask for the area of a parallelogram, and I put A equals length times width, am I gonna get that wrong?
Parallelogram, if you use length times width, yes. But here's the deal. So a rectangle is a parallelogram, but a parallelogram is not necessarily a rectangle, right? So if you use base times height for a rectangle, because it's also a parallelogram, that would be fine. I don't know why they don't just stick with base times height for all of them, but mathematicians will complicate anything they get their hands on. They're still right, and they're still constant, but they're complicated. It just falls down to terminology. All right, so we did through 3B in class.
I think we did like all of them.
I would give every one of them, yes.
Except for
Like-
21.
Yeah, we did 21 too.
We did?
No.
Okay.
I'm at my
Cody
hallucination
just
stage.
was a pin.
Well, it's that stage of the day for a lot of people, yeah. I'm already in that hallucination stage, deep into it. Elephants start getting through the room, I've just learned to ignore them. All right, 4A is 0.0081. B is 2.56, C is 1/9, D is 9/16. By the way, if you have a fraction, squared, how do you do that, Leah?
Square we're talking about.
And the bottom, so in this case, we wind up with,
9/16.
oh, same as that one.
My bird.
All right, 9/16 is correct. Same as number, same as D. 5, by the pound. Is better, we talked about that. 6, the mean is 4, the median is 4, and the mode is 3.
I have 3.5 because you're supposed to average them out. And I got 3 and 4 for the middle one.
Yes, if you have 3.5, see, the problem is it says rounded nearest whole in the directions. If you ever wind up with a partial number, usually they leave instructions for you there. So since 3.5 rounds up to 4, mark that one wrong. Good job on number 7, everybody. Nice job. You'll be wonderful on that.
And
8 is 34%. 9 is 40%. 10A is 2,000 centimeters. B is 0.35 liters. And C is 7,300 grams. 11. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 12. Pythagorean theorem is true for a right triangle. 13. B equals LWH. So the rectangular prism for mathematicians.
I think they just go,
Based on height?
yeah.
Exactly.
They saw a chance to make math complicated.
They did. They were probably English.
Is it counted wrong if we have B equals BH?
BH,
I think mine is way wrong because I have A equals BH.
If you have capital BH, I'll give you a half.
Yeah, but
you're
I have-
technically not wrong.
I have A just equals.
Oh, A equals, yeah, that's wrong, unfortunately. It has to be B equals. 14, 2.54, B 2.2. 15, D equals RT, B is 16. 16 is 1,000, B 0.01, C 0.1, 17, 60, 2.5%. B is 16 2/3%, C 11, D 16. 18, the factors of 15 are 3 and 5, factors of 90 are 2, 3, 3, and 5. The GCF is 15. 19 is 1/9. B is 1 1 over 125. 20. $921.15.
I got $10,320.15.
What do you multiply
That's
by?
basically like,
That's like
The
the
whole
same
pack.
amount as the what he sold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's far wrong.
Man, I
You
was
subtract 9% and multiply by 91%.
I'd sure be a salesman if I got that kind of
Yeah.
commission.
Well, even that doesn't work. You're multiplying by over.
like a
I
You're
don't
multiplying by 1 almost.
No. I multiplied by 0.09 and then I
Whoa.
added it to
Oh, you added it to.
10,335. I don't know.
Wrong. Hang on. So when you multiply by 0.09, what do you come up with?
92.15.
Oh, that's wrong. 0.09 times 10,235 is that's your $921.15. So you did your multiplication wrong as well. You have a misplaced decimal, I'm assuming. Along with
Well, I figured
some
mine
math wrong.
was right because like times 10 would be like.
Yeah, it would be if it was 10%, it would be $1,023.50 exactly. Yeah, you just did your multiplication way wrong. 21, 4 is boxed. That's what one time you did with box things. Plus 3x is circled, negative 2 is boxed, plus 5x squared is underlined, negative 4x is circled. B, 5a squared is underlined, negative 2b squared is underlined, plus 2a is circled, and plus 2b is circled. No, they did throw that in the middle. All right, 22, 12,000 cubic centimeters, 12 liters. 23, 42 hours and 55 minutes. B, 7 feet 9 inches. C, 17 pounds, 10 ounces.
10 ounces?
10 ounces.
I had 5 ounces.
So
Just
you would,
looking at for
yes.
22. So I have the right answer written down, like when we were doing it in class. But the answer I had before that was still in the blank.
Which one? 22?
22A. So I had the right one written down, but it wasn't in my old answer was still in the blank. And I have B right.
Okay, take a half for that. Yeah, so basically you should have had a remainder of 3 on C. Should have had a
I
remainder
did.
of 3 multiplied, 3 times 16.
What? Is this 23C?
23C, yes.
I came out completely even.
17 pounds,
And I'm
10
pretty
ounces.
sure I'm right.
Okay, so 6 goes into 10 one time. You get remainder of 4, 45. 6 goes into 45 7 times is 42.
3 times 16.
And you get a 3.
8.
3 times 16
Where do you
is
get the
48.
16?
Okay, because there are 16 ounces in a pound, right? So you have to
Oh.
multiply 3 times 16 when you
Yeah.
carry that over, because that's your remainder. So 3 times 16 goes over 40.
So what's the answer?
17 pounds, 10 ounces. Then 48 was told 60, 60 divided by 6 is 10. 24, 154 square inches.
I don't know.
14 times 11, I'd get 150.
I don't know.
Well, very unfair, I'm assuming. 25 terms, 26 variable and exponent, 27 coefficient, 28 constants. 29,
For 26, I have variable and value.
it has to be exponent.
So is that a 4?
Yes. 29, 9 cubic feet. B, 6,280 cubic meters.
Oh!
I just seen it when you guys were messing around with whatever. I had, for 29A, I had 90 feet. I just missed my decimal place by 1.
Did you change it over?
Yeah. it's
Mr.
really
Kent.
awful.
Doesn't a half point round down? Oh,
You say you have 99 and a half.
yes.
The problem is, there's only 29, 30, 32, by the way, 24, and 29, your formulas are over a point.
I know, I have all my formulas, I know
And
everything.
your work.
I have all my formula.
35, 36, 37, 38, 39,
I'm not very good.
39.
It's okay, I had the right answer. I just hadn't erased my other one.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, what am I supposed to do? D value is 100%.
Yes.
You have a half wrong, it's a 99.
That is just so
If
random.
I have 2 wrong,
96.
if I have 1.5 wrong,
That's a 97. Figure out what?
3.5.
It's going to be 85. Yes, I hate it when that happens.
I hate it when math happens.
Automobile purchase costs.
automobile.
Cars. Oh, they're getting a good deal. Title registration and notarization fee cost 2%. Huh.
That's
Well,
actually pretty easy.
yeah, not a big deal. This is percents again. Just remember to change.
Small percents.
So what?
Nothing. I just said small percents.
Okay, fine. Let's just. Basically, what they're trying to tell you is that buying a car costs more than what people tell you it does.
It's discouraging.
The more you pay for your car, the more you pay for random other stuff generally. Well, it's about all that works around here. As far as you don't have a sales tax, so that would help.
So what
We had a sales tax, we had a 5.5% sales tax on things. So if you buy a $6,000 car, you would pay $300, $375 in sales tax.
Death and taxes.
How funny.
That was the most expensive car I ever bought. The Rod Peters.
How much was it?
$6 grand.
6.
I hated that car with a passion.
Then why did you buy it?
The
I
cheapest
thought I would like
or
it.
the most
That was the
expensive?
most expensive one I ever bought.
$6,000. That's not terribly much for a car.
Yeah. But I hated it. It was a Saab.
Wonder how much mine
Oh,
will pay
that
for
is-
this car.
The Saab 9.3 turbo. Transmission went it was a hole. So what I do is, instead of that, is I buy like 4 cheap cars, which wind up being more expensive in the long run because you have to fix them all the time. I have 4 cars. Or 5. No, I only ever have 5 ones.
You get 4 so you can pull parts off the one. 6 months or something.
No, you're never that lucky. Even if I bought 2 Jeep Cherokees, the old XJ stuff. One was an 89 and one was a 96. Couldn't swap parts between them. Completely different engines, completely different transmissions. Rear end was different, front end was different. I think I could have swapped the steering boxes. But even the AC system was completely different.
So you would have to buy 2 the same.
Steering wheel was different, cruise control was different. No, the 89 didn't have cruise control.
So he does.
Even the seat mounting was different.
Yikes.
So you just.
I just had 2 Cherokees. And the one I chopped the top off and made a brand new one. No, it was but it jumped a lot better. Or at 8 off of it.
No, man, he bought a little Jeep and like took the top off and just left, and then he put like poles on, like you'd see on a side by side, kind of on a little Jeep. And just painted it. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
So,
I enjoy Jeeps. I'm still waiting for mine to show up. I'm trying to find some kind of a risk taker to drive my 89 up here.
Hey, Derek could do it.
Who?
Derek.
That'd be a good job.
I should have met my brother and brother-in-law. One of the one guys who's out here. I try it. If you get bored. I'm tired of life. It'll probably be fine. Well, not it'll definitely break some creative way than it does.
They'd be like calling you up all the time.
Yeah, I don't care about them. All right, let's do number 1 in class. Wait,
that's a great idea, Mr.
So you just
Kent.
go
And
7,000
it's really simple. 7,000.
times 20.
$525. How they came to that magic number, I don't know, but that's where they are.
No sense.
$7,525. No sense.
Maybe
Now we just
525.
have to figure out how much the tax is and all the other things.
Maybe 525 was the tax.
Maybe. I have no clue. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I don't know how we got there. All right, so now we have to charge a 2% tax. So how do we do that?
So
Point.
0.02.
Multiply by
0.02.
0.02. Point.
That's
5 times 2, Cody.
10.
What's?
5.
Hang on a little bit. Yes, 5.
10.
10. Okay, good. I was going to call on you, but I couldn't think of your name. Richard?
15.
Yeah, what he said.
What he said? All right, perfect.
He's just great.
Now what?
So you put the decimal points 2 places in.
$150.50.
$150.50. That's how much. That's your complete final total answer.
Really?
Since number 2 is kind of the same thing, we should.
That's so simple.
Exercise?
Yeah.
You guys have done these before, just in a different spot, anyway.
Yeah.
Mr. Kent, how do you even figure that out?
Just times 0.02 or 5 actually.
Yeah, it'll.
What? Tony, what were you saying?
0.05 times.
I wouldn't even bother helping
I know,
him.
but it says that was the sales tax in the car above.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
you
the
have,
same as the one below.
but you have to add 150 on, because that 2%, whatever.
Oh, I see. So that was just, so yeah, I see. So the title registration and notarization, that was without the tax. So there was a 5% sales tax on that car.
Then you
Without
have to
the-
add.
Just go 5%. You don't
Without
add
the title registration.
Don't add anything on there.
What the? What?
So you just forget about the 150.
You just go 7,525. Don't worry about that $150 anymore.
I'm
That's
7,525 multiplied by 5%. Perfect.
Is it 376.55?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I can know.
Good job on the planification.
300%. The northern children, they weep and cry all day if they don't
If
get
they don't get enough
enough.
planification. That's not true.
Do the northern children like buttification? Ha! Northern children can't no spit. Oh yeah, I once spit so hard it was raining in Norway.
Perfect. Yeah, 51 seconds. You know, that's somehow just a classic. I'm trying to decide what else I can do to make your lives miserable, but they just did it all themselves.
You're so
I'm a knack for
encouraging.
that.
I'll tell you what, I'll do to make your lives miserable. Feel free to use the calculator on number 33.
That was
Eh?
miserable.
Thank you.
I feel very miserable about
I
that.
just can't find the
They
problem.
can hardly abide that. It's
Oh,
on page
it's on
20.
that page.
On page
I'm gonna draw a calculator symbol right
Thank
now.
you.
Thank you very much.
We all thought he was joking about that. It wasn't a number 33.
Yeah, Mr. Who was that? Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Dickens.
It went to like
Skip.
40 99 problems, and he said you can
skip number 50?
through 60 or something.
Oh,
We're all like,
look at
yay! And then you were all like, yay!
He was ready to get something.
A lot.
Oh well.
Yeah, but we-
Teachers, that's the only entertainment they get. To an extent, is being mean.
Yeah.
All right.
They pile on working to keep other students.
That's right.
Gotta laugh at him.
Throwing all the students or music to their ears.
They make them have student devotions.
Hardship. Oh, hardship. All right.
Mr. Chair, are we free to use the calculator on 16?
Is there a calculator symbol in 16?
I don't know, but
Hey, I can draw
well,
one.
I can draw on there.
Then I would say no. I think I gave you enough freebies to do that. Speaking of freebies, I gotta get these things out of my drawer.
Oh, exactly.
Is this our morale booster?
Hey, it can be if you want. If you want to have a bad morale, imagine I can't stop you. I'm pulling a pink one though.
How many do we have?
Oh, maybe 3 or 4 or something.
As many as we want.
Christopher, are your mom and dad
Stop
back
up your
there?
mouths.
Yeah.
All right.
We better get this heat in before Dustin gets back.
This is, let's make sure we,
Saturday, I don't know if
I'm gonna get one of every time. There's like barely any left.
They're better than y'all.
No, the ones that are worse.
How many do you
all
want?
right.
3 or 4.
I said 3 or 4. In other words, 4.
Yeah, why don't we add like 3 in there?
Dad's like, you have to cut 40 or 50 pieces of wood to this. I'm like, oh yeah, so you meant 40. But then I decided I'd do 5 more and go right in between. Which turned out to be a good idea because Dad gave me less today because he said he was glad I didn't sell for the bare minimum. I was like, okay, so I could have just done 41.
You saved yourself effort. Go on, went above and beyond. All right, Druzy, so you did get an A. So feel free to put your coffee order in at some point. Give me something else after you get one.
Did anybody else get it?
No, of
Unfortunately.
course not.
Uh-oh.
I got an 89.
There were a few silly mistakes.
What did you get, Christy? Why did you want to tell me?
No. No.
All right, 8th grade can stay out of this. Richard specifically. All right, so we've learned about the distributive property of multiplication.
Oh, there. Oh, more of them.
Right? How do we do the distributive property of multiplication?
Oh, that's where the times by.
Correct. So you just take this one, multiply by this one, multiply by that one. So you get what? 12 n plus 24. All right. So now we're going to take this number and we're going to use the living daylights out of the distributive property of division. By the way, if any of you are interested, I figured out how to use fractional exponents. Are you interested?
No. Of course not.
Nobody cares though. Yeah. All right. So we're going to just we're going to divide this by 4. Essentially, it just works the same way, right? You simply take it and you just do each one 12n 4 and 24 by 4. You just simply do both of them separately and then lump them back together.
Just divide them.
Right.
Six.
So divide. So
3.
you get 3 over 1, 3n over 1, and
6 over 1.
6 over 1, which can be reduced to
3 and
3n plus 6. That's correct. So it's really very simple. It's using the same old things over again. One thing to keep in mind is if you are dividing by a negative, then your final result is a negative, whether this is a positive or not. Just same as any other old division thing.
So you have to take 4 out.
So I just put that up there.
Oh.
sure that's what happens, but I just want to make sure.
Why
that we're saying
minus
it's
6
silly.
though?
Because it's a positive 24, so you go 24 divided by negative 4, so that'll be a negative 6. Because division and multiplication is negatives. Same thing works if you have, basically all you do is you divide the coefficient, obviously, unless you have this. Let's look at the. Ooh, that's a good one. Number 9. We'll do that one. 3x squared y plus 6y squared divided by 2xy. All right. Oh man. So what you do, you can separate these or you can
Just
just
put
manipulate.
2 underneath.
This is one of the things where it doesn't really matter. Whether you-
That doesn't even come out right now.
Say what?
Now I'm officially gonna say that.
I hope not.
This next test is even gonna be a worse grade, so.
We're not tired.
I know. But just the start of this book is awesome.
Okay. So here's what's gonna happen.
Oh, cross off the X's.
Basically, you have to
One
remember
X,
here, there is a
Y.
plus between here, okay? So you're not gonna put these back together here once you're done. This is going to just stay in this form. Well, once you simplify it, obviously. So you have 3 over 2, which you can't do anything with. You can take an x away
And a Y.
And all of the ones.
and y's on this side. So on this side, you get 3x over 2 plus, and here, you take a y away, no x's. You get 3 over 2. Right, so then you're gonna have 3y over x. That's it. So 3x over 2 plus 3y.
That's for me.
That's
Okay.
for number 9.
That whole bottom thing is my answer.
This is your answer
With the addition sign?
with the addition sign. You have to keep that addition sign if you pull it down from here. Basically, what you do is split it up and you just write this thing on both sides.
But how do you decide whether to keep it or not?
When if it comes out perfectly,
Can we just do the
On
whole
all
new
of
part?
these, none of them have an equal sign in
none of there's no equal sign here. We're dealing with expressions here, not equations. Okay, so we're not actually working this out to the end. We're just simplifying expressions here. Just as a side note. Well, we'll start on something a little easier. Let's start on we'll start. We're gonna go back to number 1, just because that's way too simple to sit there and look at it. 5x minus 10 divided by 5. All right. So now this, obviously,
X
we can,
minus 2.
right, because you can go, and this just turns into 2, right? So here, because we don't have 1x, we get x minus 2. And this is 1, so whatever number over 1 doesn't matter. So our final answer for number 1 is x minus 2. Our answer, our simplified expression. I'm going to not do number 2, but remember to watch the negative on that. So that you're dividing by a negative. Keep an eye on that little detail. Number 3, I wish to do. 24x.
Minus,
24x minus 18y. Can you read it?
yeah, that's 27. Divided by 3.
Divided by 3. All right. So let's just write this out like this. 24x over 3 minus So we just brought that down. 18y over 3 kept him plus 27 over 3. Now this obviously is easy to come, so we'll just do this one first. 9 over 1, which just
And 6
solves the 9. This,
6y.
right, we get a 1 and a 6, so 6y
And 8
over 1, which again simplifies the 6y.
x. 8x.
Okay. 8x over 1, which, yeah, so just 8x minus 6y plus 9. So you just keep the addition and subtraction to pull it down. You basically just separate it out into each. Duck and cover. Jersey is shooting over there, and I don't want one, John. All right.
And then the next one is just 2z.
Is it? I don't know, I didn't look.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be 2z.
Mm-hmm. Hang on.
Yeah, I think
What happens when you have,
Negative
say you have 4 over 4, negative 4 over 4, what does that simplify to? 1, negative 1.
2x minus 1.
Yes. So number 4 would be 2, or 2z,
No.
2z minus 1.
So the next one is 2k plus 3k. No, okay.
There's no k on the last one, which is right.
No, but there has to be because it's, no, they cancel each other.
So 4k squared,
3K.
yeah, because you're dividing by 2k,
Yeah, 2k.
right? So your last part is gonna be 6k divided by 2k, so your k's cross each other out.
Yep.
You get 3. 1. It's just 3.
I hold it.
Pretty simple, really. It's just, distributive property and you store division at it rather than,
So if you have 4x squared over 4x, negative 4x,
4x squared over negative 4x.
yeah, what do you do there?
Yes, first of all, we'll just put this here, right? Oh no, you probably have something.
Is it just negative x?
So if you have a plus here and a negative here, anyway. So here, we can cross out the square to the x, right? So we start with x up here. Here we can go 1. Right? Is this a plus or a minus here?
It's plus.
Okay. So that means we're going to have either plus or minus of a negative x over 1, which is,
Negative x. What number is that? That was part of 6.
So then, oh no, yeah, I have a question though on 5.
okay, on 5.
Yeah, so what, so 2 into 4 is 2. 2k plus 3k? No k on 3.
There's no k on 3, right?
Because
it's like this.
2k cancels out.
You have your 6k and 2k, your k's cancel out. If you're dividing by k, then your k goes away.
Okay.
But then on 6,
So it's just, it is just 2k plus 3?
no, yeah, 2k.
Yes, 2k plus 3 is the final answer. That's correct.
The number 6, I have negative 4x squared minus x
Okay, hang on.
plus 5.
Negative 4x squared minus x plus 5?
Yeah.
Yes. Alright. These are comments and questions.
Yeah, 19.
19. Combining like terms.
I think it was 19. Yeah.
All right.
It was 8x yz minus x yz.
Right, yeah,
That just
yeah.
goes 7.
That'd be a 7xyz, yes. Because it stands for 1xyz over there on the right side. So that was an unfortunate situation on the test as well, I noticed that it seemed like the biggest struggle, I think, was the exponents in general. The rest of it seemed to be just mistakes. I'm not real sure.
Like my M instead of O.
Yes, that was unfortunate. So let me think. Like if you have 3n squared times 2, yeah, 2n to the 4th times n.
It's 90 days before the year.
How many days are in a year?
365.
How many? Well, maybe it's easier to figure it out this way. How many months are in 90 days?
3.
How many months is what
So
fraction?
it'll be 3 over 12.
3 over 12.
3 divided by 12 equals 20.
So it would reduce to 1/4. Right. I'll just drop the coefficients there. All right. So basically,
7N.
or n is 7. Also, if you're dividing by a negative exponent, divided by n to the negative 4th, what's going on? This situation here?
You add them together.
Yes, because this is a subtraction. So this is minus a negative 4, so n equals 6 plus 4, which is n. N to the 10th.
On 6, I just finished it. Is that, do you add the 5?
Yeah. But you know.
Mm-hmm. So it would be a plus 5 again. There's two negatives. You can go ahead and skip 47 to 49 if you wish.
47 through 49.
Actually, go ahead and just skip 47 to 52. The extra practice. I think you mostly have the concept, so why would I worry about your dependence? Yes.
This one, it's 7. Is that how you do it? 32, and that's 1. And it has to be over 1.
No, we
Because
might
that's
go-
next.
I would spend some time to know what 2 minus 4 is. Hang on a second, which number is that?
That's 7. 2 divided by 4 is 2.
Okay. It's 4 divided by 2, but yeah.
Mr. Grant, I don't know how to do this.
Okay. Obviously, this cancels out. This, you get a
2, 1.
over 1, so that would be a 2.
2 goes into 8. 4 grand.
Four correct.
4 correct. Not 4 correct. What can you do for me?
This one, I got 300 calories with 2 sodas, so per day he would have 300 extra calories, and then I times that by 360. And
Jeez,
I got
bad,
that
yeah.
wages number.
98,000? Is that outrageous?
Well,
So
per pound, you'd be in the negative.
360 is what?
I don't know.
What's the 360 for?
It's, there's 260 in
No.
what year? How many pounds?
How many days in a year?
365.
Okay, so that's 300, right, so in a year. Okay. So where do you go? Alright, so for every 3,500 calories he doesn't eat, he loses a pound. That's the theory, right? So now you're trying to figure out how many pounds you're going for, so you're
When you divide this by
99,500.
this,
So what?
when you divide this by this, you divide it by this.
I would get rid of your zeros there. On both sides. Hey, when they do that.
I'll do it with-
Let's start with 35 times 10 is 350.
One last one. I'm not getting that. Altogether, what percentage of this price would be added?
Okay, so how much tax is going to be added
You just go.
altogether? So here you just add your 8 and your 7%, correct? Isn't that tax? You
Yeah,
just did
15% tax. That'd be.
good honk. That's big.
Times. 26.5.
Okay, so you're
Percent.
looking for a percent.
Yeah, so.
Altogether what percent? But yes.
So then when people minus 17,500.
What? How much do these taxes add to the price of the car? Isn't that what you just found?
15, right?
Yeah, 15% is what they add. And then 26, 25 would be, what's that number would be good for? What is that number?
It's the answer to that would be this right here, right?
So that's how much extra money he has to pay. Take the car home.
4.
Boom.
So I need help on number 26.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out how to work it. So.
What's that number?
That's.
Oh, okay.
So, on this plan, he's just skipping 2 cylinders per day. So that would be 300 calories.
Mm-hmm. So how many calories per year? That's the question. How many pounds should he lose in a year, right? So how many calories he's going to not drink a year, not consume?
So, this divided times?
So 300. So per day, it's going to be 300 calories, right?
Yeah.
So how many per year?
So how many, well, we're trying to find the pounds she's
Right, but you have to figure out how many calories he's. So
So,
for every 3,500 calories he doesn't eat, he loses a pound, right?
yeah. So, you go 365 divided by 300.
Huh?
365 divided by 300.
Hang on. You use a little bit of a different approach. All right. So every day he doesn't, this is 2 cans he doesn't eat, right? So you know that's going to be 300 per year. I mean per day. 300 calories, right? So that means, and we know that every time, say it even takes a week or whatever, if he eats 3,500 calories less, that's going to be 1 pound, right? So say, let's just throw this at a week, right? So in 1 week, he's losing, how many calories is he not going to consume if he just at 300 per day?
Well, in a week,
Yeah.
it'd be 21%.
Right. Because you just multiply by 7. All right, let's take that another notch up. Let's take it up. Let's go for a year. So how many days are in a year?
365.
Right. So 300 calories, 365 days. Where is it?
You just got 3 times. So it would be 109,500.
Hang on, we'll do the math. I think I saw a different number before. Ooh. Yeah, you might want to check your number again on that one. But I did multiplication wrong again.
This one.
Did you tell me wrong?
I think it's multiplication wrong. I haven't checked them
If then that would
Which
be
multiplication?
on the how many calories, how many pounds he's going to lose in a year.
So then
I have
you just
28.
divide.
No?
I have 28.
Hang on. This is the one I'm worried about. This is about 300. You didn't carry your 1 down from 3 times 3, you didn't carry 1 down to 10. Change my answer. All right. So now,
So 109,500 divided by 3,500.
all right.
You just take off the 2 zeros.
10 goes in, 35 goes into 10, obviously, and our log goes into,
Drop it 3 times.
let's try 3. 35 times 3, what's that?
15.
105.
Yep.
Ones.
Oops. And
10.
so just
So that would, hang on, hot second, I'll let you finish. So you're supposed to round it, obviously. So
to be 31.
this, yeah, this is only 2 times, so yeah, 31 pounds. Supposing that works for him anyway.
I think I would just take the pot altogether.
Oh my goodness, 3 cans a day. That's an expensive habit.
I mean, like, I like pop, but like, I don't know.
I don't think I could drink 3 cans.
I think I would just skip the
Never
pot and
done
just like,
Depending
Okay,
on the
so
pop,
here's
I
the
feel
deal.
sick after having it.
Because my dad is a bit of an addict, right? He used to be a lot more. And I know that 3 cans a day is possible. I know that he's cut way back on it.
I've never done it.
And I know it's really
well, I
hard.
have before, but then.
Don't go down the trail, right? Just
Yeah.
that's
Just
not
a minute.
working, first of all.
Today was supposed to be the Bible.
Yes,
It's fine.
Bible test. You want that?
Yeah.
I don't
I want to, where's the check the self-test, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do that once for next grade. You can start on language.
Maybe-
Wait,
maybe
is
the Bible
history.
Basically, the deal is, okay, so say you get,
Oh, yeah.
put it this way. If you drink 2 bottles of pop, and say it costs $3 a day. Say your habit costs $3 a day, which is
It-
pretty light. Oh,
That's
$3 a
not
day.
right.
$3 a day.
Almost $3.
I think it's more than $3 for a can.
I'm saying like if you go bottles, I know you can get 2 for $3, like 16 bottles. Pretty sure.
So,
Okay, so $3 a day.
So let's call it $3 a day, and I think that's pretty light. That's on the light side. Multiply that times 365. And look at how much you spend in a year.
$1,000, $1,100.
$1,100. And that's
That's,
on the light side of the light side of an addiction. Now you take a cigarette smoker who smokes, say,
a
a pack a day at what is it, $7 or $8 a
Yeah.
pack now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
our neighbor just stopped.
So 8 times 365, what's that?
What?
8 times 365.
1,920.
So you quit that habit. You can buy say a used razor in 4 years, 5 years.
Cut your hair.
Side by side.
Yeah, there was like a proverb thing. This lady stops a man who's smoking. And she's like, how long have you been smoking? He's like, 10 years. How many do you smoke? Oh, about a pack. He's like, well, if you would have just quit smoking 10 years ago, you could have a Lamborghini.
what's a Lamborghini?
Car, very expensive car, $7,800,000.
Really?
Or something like that. She said something like that. And the lady and the man looks at her. He's like, do you smoke? She's like, no. Then where's your Lamborghini?
Yeah. Well, besides the fact that it's just not good for you.
Yeah, you're gonna die before you get your Lamborghini.
Well, I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't think you know what you want. You know the problem with a race car, right? Lamborghini has the same problem.
What is it?
The problem with a race car is that they're always broken. Right? They're so high powered and so high maintenance that they're almost always broken.
What Jared told me before, it costs how much just to change the oil? I forget.
Oh, like it's like $2,500 just to change the oil.
Yeah, something like that. Or more. I
And
think
new
you have to
tires,
have-
new tires are like 15 grand. Like,
So you have to, like-
stupid.
If you're gonna buy one, you're gonna have to save a lot of money on that. Putting a stuff in your bank.
Right.
It's like you keep it running.
You don't just have a Lamborghini and drive it around. Well, like you have to have.
I know, but I still want one.
It'd be cool to just look
Yeah,
at.
well, I mean,
That's a be careful.
Different
what you wish
people-
for situation.
different people want different things, and I know what I want is not a Lamborghini. The problem with a Lamborghini is there's so little uses for it.
I could
Like
get
you
one.
can't drive them in snow. They hate snow. They hate any adverse weather. They don't like rain. They don't like snow. They don't like.
You can park it in front of your house.
You can park it in front of your house. Yeah, so you're in your trailer
Yeah,
house.
little mobile home.
Yeah, you're in your trailer house in your Lambo. Eh.
You don't really need road, you just have to ask them to do it.
Here's all the Mexicans.
All the Mexicans are what?
Have junkie houses. but-
Junkie houses are really cool cars. They have a $90,000, $100,000 truck. You know the reason for that? Because it's way easier to get a vehicle loan than.
And a job.
Huh?
And a job. If you show up in a junkie mode, I mean, I guess not. But
Actually,
I
I
know
don't
that's
know.
junkie little.
Well, once you have a job, you don't want to. No, I can't remember how it was. This guy worked for us. He always drove this junky little Ford to work, and then we found out he had just like I can't remember what it was. He had a super nice truck, and Cat's like, oh, I guess I'd be taking too much. And the guy's just like, no, you denying.
Well, my boss thought that maybe he wasn't paying me enough.
that's a-
I was like, yeah, I mean, that's maybe, you know.
That's
You never know.
definitely true.
It's like, yeah, I would say, oh, I just can't afford it. There's better. You're always in here just hacking on it. Fab shop, you go in there hacking on it. Oh, Always fix them, it's easier, yes. Can't afford anything else, and labor's free.
18.
Can't afford anything with this stuff. You never need.
So you
Can't drive a snow. Can't drive a
well, I can get a lot closer than that.
2 and 11.
Yes,
I'm having some issues
okay.
on this side. That one and that one. So 18, it's that, so that just empties that. And
Oh. No, it's not.
because 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 doesn't really do.
No, but the fifth square root of -1.
So it can be -1.
Yeah, it was the -1. So you multiply -1 times 5
And
times.
then this one, everything cancels each other out, but then I'm left with ones. I'm left with the one down here and one out there.
Okay.
And one of them's negative, so that just makes it negative.
-1. Yes.
Yeah. And then I don't know how to do it. 34.
1/3 the product of the base and the height.
You just go base,
Okay. hang
so
on.
B8 under.
So the product of the base and the height, that's what you start with, right?
Yeah,
So you write that as
B8.
VH.
And
So 1/3 the product of that. No.
Over 1? Over 3.
Yeah, that's actually its own way to do it.
But you
The way
can
you
go
normally see
1/3
this is
B8.
1/3 VH. It's a fairly common expression, to be real honest, but VH over 3 is also correct.
35 is double the sum of the length and the width.
Double the sum of the length and the width, right? What's the sum of the length and width?
L plus W.
Okay.
So you go 2. No, because if you go 2L plus.
Double the sum of the length and width. So how would you double this sum?
Put 2 in front of it. No, because then you do 2, and then you just go 2L plus 2W. Wait, I don't know, why do you? That's how I do it. That's how I do it.
Double the sum of the length.
I suppose if we were talking about addictions, we should talk about coffee, but that seems like kind of a sacred addiction. We should probably not touch on it.
What?
A terrible, I can go without.
Mennonites
coffee,
drink
but-
too much coffee.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and then if you go
Specific
spend
for this
$5 at the human being every day. That's
I
what
mean,
it's
I
gonna
don't, it's
cost.
not even close to what
Or
I
even 5 days a week. Or, well, I mean, I don't obviously spend $5 a day coffee, I think.
You do.
Well, I'm sure lots of people do.
My teacher Ruby, she would,
Not like
if
it's
she
like
didn't drink coffee, she
Coffee's
would.
rare, but it's like around. That's.
My one
See,
teacher,
that's
she
just
drank
ridiculous.
coffee, she'd
If you don't
throw
have-
up.
But
Well,
Alex,
that was
I don't know
just
if that-
a story.
that was
If you get to
Alex.
the point
It's
where
true,
you
she can't
get a
drink
headache
coffee.
because you don't have coffee,
There might be
that is
something wrong with
absolutely ridiculous. Like,
That's just stupid, just.
I'm gonna
drink
just stand in front of
Just
you and drink my
stupid.
coffee.
Alex can't drink coffee or she'll throw up.
well, go Alex. Save yourself from $1 million
Don't go
lifelong
Alex.
debt.
Yeah, doesn't she drink another kind of thing?
It was pearl, it's not coffee at all.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
but how much is a can of that?
We don't have it anymore.
Well,
Mom got it off Amazon, we got like 5 cans, but we drank it all. I don't know how much.
then it probably is expensive, we thought.
You can never buy anything food-wise, grocery-wise, it's cheap up in Amazon.
I don't remember how much it was, but we got that and we didn't get any more.
Yeah. stop and talk. That's why. Fun though.
Hey, can you come look at something?
Like any old addiction. Addictions are fun. Yeah, I'll be right there.
Mr. King.
Yeah.
If you notice, it says, those who don't read have no advantage over those who can.
That's a fact.
So I went and will this work? I went and cross that out. I went and I went and 36 instead of 4. I'm not sure if that's the right one, but no, this one is because shoe size was like 37.
Yeah. That's not a very real shoe size there, I don't think.
Whoa.
Mr. King, this column is
Why do they have 2%?
Okay, so the provincial sales tax is that, and then the gross sales tax is that. So basically, both of the sales taxes together is what you need. So altogether, what percent
So-
are you after? What percent?
That one.
98? No.
First I got 1,400.
Okay. Oh. I see how you're getting to where you're going. Although it's backwards, huh? So the first thing they're looking for is a percent number. So what percent total will he have to pay in tax?
So times 8 by 7.08.
No, just add them together. Because he has to pay 8% and 7%. So he has to pay 15% total, right?
Yeah. And then
Also, I told you you need to calculate it, so whatever, however that makes you feel. So then he's gonna have both of those numbers, so just basically
so if you just times
15%.
that by 15%.
Right.
Sounds good.
15%, that's wild, yes.
This one.
But that's Canada as well.
36. The number equals 7 more than 6 divided by another number, and that's where I wrote. So do I switch the 7 and the 6?
7 more than 6, 11, yeah, that'll work. Even if they have 7 plus A over B or whatever.
So that is, I want to just 15%. Is that the right one?
That goes in B. This one they're looking for.
So that would be divided by 17. So you find,
Yeah, so here's altogether what percentage is there for looking for percentage?
50%.
15%. That's all right. Just have 15%. Is that 26.5? Total. The total amount that they- yeah, right. It's Canada. I mean, in Canada, does crazy sales tax. Anyway, she can. Let's go for
Recess.
Recess.
We'll have to
recess.
recess.
Recession.
Return to this.
Court, you're right. What are we playing?
I'm going to guess that you said it.
Is that cold out? It's kind of cold, but not really cold.
Not super windy.
Yeah, I guess. It's not. Is it cold?
No. It's not windy.
We'll study for a Bible.
Okay.
Right here, I got an 88 on the math test. You know, once you get into algebra, you just kind of give up on life or what?
I feel like I kind of got handicapped. definitely do algebra before you do it.
Yeah, that's what I think so too. I think that's what.
It's not cold, I just need my coat.
So you guys are gonna get screwed the same way I did. No.
That's
You're gonna be doing accounting before you do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get squeak at that. And I
Try to
would.
change things.
I would.
Change what?
But then I have to do algebra twice. Actually, that would be
No, you would just teach algebra and then accounting. It's not like it's gonna.
Then you'd only have to. That would take forever.
I would.
Because basically last year, you guys get a lot more attention than me and Lisa did. We didn't even have classes. Because they took the entire. I know. But he would take the entire time talking to them about accounting. Especially because Jenny was there and she didn't understand anything.
That was funny. Good job, Alex.
Oh yeah, we smelled from the second time.
Yeah, I wish I had that game.
You know what? Unless I'm very much mistaken, I served like 6 times that game. Woohoo! In a row.
In a row?
Yeah.
Insane.
I know.
Oh no!
That's like a monumental. What?
David,
And I got 1, 2, 1, 2
inside
over the net, inside the lines. Maybe just one.
Humbug Mount. Wonder what that is.
Those games are actually pretty fun.
Well, I've been beside him for a while.
Did we lose the first one?
We lost the first one.
Oh, okay. Good.
It was like 13 to 12, 12 to 21 or whatever it was. It was actually pretty bad.
And then you guys like, we were like 3 or something in the first game.
What is that?
Those games were actually pretty fun. Trust me.
Yeah, for your team.
You guys beat the last one. You guys were playing good. What's wrong with you?
What?
We had just served the whole time.
I know, it was so boring.
It was
No variation. Look at my little star. See, good at drawing stars.
We had to do stars.
I did look at it.
Is that when you have like 7 points?
I tried to make it 7 points. One had 6.
Is it supposed to have 7 points?
No, it's supposed to have 6. I don't know.
I don't care.
He was bad.
Ooh, there's a better star.
Bobby said she did 60 words a day. Yeah, and she did a lot. I'm really typing here.
Oh, I'm
I've got 31.
I'm
doing 30 words a minute right now.
I'm pretty
You
sure.
have to write the list.
I'm just gonna write the. I'm just gonna write dots.
Are they throwing numbers at you? Those are always my downfall.
Those are the ones I cannot get.
I didn't- I didn't learn-
with.
I didn't learn-
These aren't dead.
The apostrophes are just out.
What? Okay, let me see what happens.
Have you, do you?
What
On your third one?
Bible, by the way.
Yeah, the second
Oh.
time going around. And then forward. Yeah.
See,
All right,
I just
we
started.
have to
I want to.
check the Bible.
What's your
Get a fan credit.
See, this one is the one that I can do. This one's really easy.
No, I never learned to do, we didn't check 14 here, did we?
We may. No, we didn't.
I think we did.
Tests
We'll have to do-
just do not make me happy.
Huh?
Tests do not make me
Oh,
happy.
okay, I'm sorry.
Especially Bible.
So I obviously need some kind of agreement on that, so we'll have to go through that real quick, starting on page 59. Number 1, it is true. 2 is false, 3 is false, 4 is true.
Just wait. I'm not even there.
Huh?
It's not there, it's on page.
So check.
We're gonna start on page 59. True, false, false, true, because I didn't think we checked in lesson 14.
True, false, false, true. Okay.
Yep. Number 5, on 61, the sea. 6, the Dead Sea. 7, the salt payment called salarium, or salary. 8, to provide traction on the marble temple floors during the winter rains. Because why not?
I have drawn on the temple floor so it wouldn't become slick.
That'll work. Number 9, he may end up farther from God than he began, than when he began. Yes. 10A, flavors, B, reserves, C, quantities. I think those 3 can be in any order. And then under the Christians, it's goodness, righteousness, and holiness. Oh, it says write each list in the order given in the text. So flavors, preserves, and cleanses, goodness, righteousness, and holiness. 11. You should have check. A, B, D, and E. 12. Everything. 13. Mathematics. B, learner and pupil. C, yes. D, yes, and then.
I have one.
That work.
I have this.
D.
It says, is the word disciple or disciples used in the Old Testament?
The answer is yes.
I didn't see it.
One time. It should be in.
It's in
It
our-
was in Isaiah, I think. Isaiah 9.
I thought it was asking which word that was in the Old Testament.
We're looking for disciple. 14. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath cannot be my disciple. 14:33. I have been looking at number 15 for everybody, and I think I looked at everybody. And passed all of them but one. 16. Poor and disadvantaged. 17. Near the host. 18. The Lord will prepare a feast. 19. Family, friends, or high-class people, or those who can repay them. 20. He was insulted because his guests rejected his generosity.
I have no one came.
Accepted and then changed their minds. Yeah, no one came.
And they made excuses.
Yeah,
Mr. Kent, was mine the one that didn't pass?
no.
Okay.
21. The poor, crippled, and blind, or whoever would come. The person who didn't fast. And that was 22. Humility. 23. True. 24. True. 25. Those who exalt themselves. 26. First and last.
For 25, I have people
Oh,
who are
man.
for.
I have so many wrong in this lesson.
Yeah, that'll work. Those who try to be first are the people who are exalting themselves. Number 20, yeah, basically, yeah, somebody, they didn't come, or whatever, just because nobody came, that's what they're shooting for. I want to look here and see if they have anything like that on the test, so I can tell you what to do.
You have to know the verses from memory.
That's like bad.
They have some words filled in.
You guys should just write, cow,
Barnyard 24/7.
Watermelon, watermelon, watermelon.
Wasn't there a game called Watermelon or something?
No,
There's one-
the punchline of Watermelon Watermelon is the guy who didn't remember the words to whatever chorus song he was singing, so he sang Watermelon. Don't do that.
One beauty of the Can we check the salt check?
Hang on.
I got second wrong.
So your grade on that one is, well, one wrong is 98, 2 is 95, 3 is 93, 4 is 95 is 88, 6 is an 85, 7 is an 83, 8 is an 80,
5.5.
5.5, 87, 87. Alright. So, let's check. 1, B, 2, C, 3A, 4D. 5, materialistic, 6, omnipotent. 7, B, 8, D, 9A, 10B, 11, C and D, 12B, 13B, 14D.
Can you look these again?
Yeah,
Alright, 7, B, 8, D, 9A, 10B, 11, C and D, 12B, 13B, 14D.
10 is B.
10 is B.
And then 9 is
A.
B?
A. Most important
Okay, and-
attempt to use worship.
Okay,
I
I
actually
can
guessed on
see why
that
I got that one wrong, but 7, I put none of these. And I still think it's none of these. Whether he accepts it or not. It's not in the
He'll not be
book.
his faith in God.
Even if he has faith in God, if he doesn't accept it, it doesn't matter.
Because you have a reason for why you did that, that will give you a point and a half.
What do you mean?
So it's one and a half, oh, maybe half wrong. Right, so it's 3 points apiece. Alright. 15. Oh, silly example. Alright, so 15. A, loving him above every other person or thing.
I have loving him wholeheartedly. Loving Jesus wholeheartedly.
That'll work. B, dying to sin and self. C, following his example. D, surrendering ourselves to his will.
For B, I have dying for him.
Specifically dying to sin, though.
I have
See,
died to the evil
That's pretty,
person
that's
in
pretty
me.
specific. Say what?
I have died to the evil person in me.
That's better.
And C, I following Jesus with all your heart.
For C, I just
I have following
Jesus.
him everywhere.
Following Jesus, yeah, that's an example. Say what, Richard?
I have following him everywhere.
I hate
Me too.
Yeah.
this. Write in his example. Following his example. If you have dying, like if you meant physical dying for B, take a half for that because that's technically something that you could do, but not something that's not something that's necessary to do. It's the spiritual dying to self.
Okay,
is what's
well, for
necessary.
A, I just have loving him.
Loving him, yeah, that'll work. Alright, 16, one reason worry is useless.
Take the time.
Okay. Examples, worry cannot change anything, or God knows what we need. So there are two of the examples I have. Basically, if you have something done, you have a reason to back it up.
I have it
It
worse.
takes
Don't
up time.
have it, don't get you anywhere.
Mine is good.
I have it worse
I-
than
God will supply your needs.
Those are all good. 17, request and answer.
I have asking.
I have sense.
Ask is good
Receive.
for request.
I have request receive.
Request received, it'll work.
No, I have sense and receive.
What was it again? Need,
Sense isn't, that's not.
So would that be
receive
a
will
wrong?
work.
need,
One
request,
wrong is-
persistence, answer.
Need, request, persistent answer is what they have, yeah. 18, salt and goodness,
I have
or righteousness, or holiness. Say what?
Mine is good.
Okay. 19, given and required. 20, there's several. He did miracles and raised the dead to life. He lived a perfect sinless life. He rose from the dead and lives in heaven now. Old Testament prophecies were fulfilled by his life. God called Jesus his son for the good Jesus baptism. Those are the ones they have.
I have people says it's God's knowledge. Wisdom.
I have
It
iron
had
my
it
father.
in our
Did they?
work. Yeah, it was in work.
I have iron my
Okay.
father are one.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that one in there, so that'll work, I guess. 21, the Holy Spirit, we look for the right words. 22,
I have
Those-
Jesus.
I have God.
It's the same
It
thing.
is specifically the Holy Spirit. Obviously, they're all one, but the Holy Spirit is the aspect that gives us words. Take a half for that. 22, building the kingdom of God or seeking God's will. 23, hypocrisy and or sin or pride.
I have possessions.
I have not heeding God's call.
I have one.
Yeah, when we refuse to believe.
Refusing to believe,
Yeah.
not heeding God's call, sin, pride, possessions. Put in one of these three, but don't come anything wrong. Hypocrisy, sin, and pride. 24 is true.
For number 22, I have full trust in God.
I have praying and trusting God for God.
I have teaching God's word.
Yeah, those are all kind of toward the building the kingdom, so don't come anything wrong for that. It'll work. 24 true, 25 false, 26 true, 27 true, 28 false, 29 true, 30 false, 31 true, 32 true, 33 true. 34. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray therefore to the harvest that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. 35. And he said unto them, take heed to the word of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things that he possesseth. 36. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my son.
I have the 34. I have therefore pray and switch or whatever it is. I have it switched.
You have ye pray.
I have
Pray.
therefore pray and ye.
Don't worry about that.
In 34, therefore, he said, I must take heed.
That's fine. You're not going to miss it in the test.
So
Because
how
it'll be hard
much
to
is
do.
a half? Does that round down?
Huh?
Does a half round
Half
down?
round up.
Ah,
As in, like, round your score up. So if I said to take a point and a half off, like if it's a point and a half off, then it'll go to just 1 point off.
It's just
So round your score.
A good day for Bible, good Bible scores.
maybe better wait till tomorrow.
It says this is not a good day for good Bible scores.
I just,
Hint, hint.
this
I have
Bible is,
95.
I actually got 100 on the lesson before the self-check.
All right,
The self-check
here's the problem.
just nailed it.
so, all right, so you have to know all three verses, at least roughly, pretty close.
how many points do you have to take off?
They have
For what?
words set up like such.
Is it point for one?
So what?
Is there a point for per whatever?
It says how many points it is on the top. In each instruction, it says like if it's 2 points or
2, 3, 6.
3 or
6 points, 96
Minus.
1, there's 3, there's 2.
Mr. Karen, would
Any
you make
questions?
us redo the test if we got a 70?
Say what?
Would you make us redo the test if we got a 70?
You get a 70 on this test? Yes, I will.
I'm making 70 on this.
How high can we get without redoing it?
71.
71. No, actually, if you get a 69, you have to redo it. If you get a 70, you're still fine.
Is it 1 point off?
Wait.
1 off. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know how to run these.
Okay.
So look,
So it's 100, there's 100, you're starting from 100,
Yeah.
right?
And you just take off our.
From 100 points. So which one was
82.
wrong here?
No.
Both here.
So I mean-
It's 2 points each, so it's half wrong, so it's 1 point, so drop it down to 99. This one, this one take half.
Yeah.
So that's another one, so it's 2 points total.
So that'd be just 99.
98.
8, whatever.
All right. Argue.
You and our vote.
Yes, I need your vote.
I'm gonna get 100 on this next.
Alright.
Well, I don't mind you trying.
I always like language and
I don't
reading,
even
and the
know
fact that it
this
just
is
was
so
confusing.
Well, hopefully there's enough context.
So, and it's
They're like giving you theology and
No, so the problem with it is, so here's the problem: is it's not objective. I mean, it's not objective. It's subjective. Math is objective. Like there's just certain things that are always right, always wrong. So we were talking. The teachers were talking yesterday about the fact that even French is a phonetic language. Like they don't have spelling bees in French, and French is a hard language for us English speakers to wrap our heads around because the letters seem to say things that they don't, but they're all the same. They're all consistent. Now here we are with this burden language on us.
okay, but like Mr. Gant, like Bible, like math is just straightforward. Bible, it just what they should do for Bible is just have you read your Bible instead of having to do this word. I don't know. Then you'd always get 100 in Bible.
Well, maybe. But the thing is, what it does is it helps you to think, generally, sometimes. Which is why I give you points for having thought through your answer. Like, if you think through your answer, if you can explain it to me, most of the time, I will give you points
Is
for
that
it.
going to work on the test?
If you have something that's questionable and kind of off, yeah. If you have a reason for why you did it that way, rather than just writing down a random answer,
We get credit for that. Okay.
there's a
cool.
chance. Unless you're just dead wrong. But, I mean, there's
What if
cases
we're
Well,
dead
if-
wrong, but we
well,
have a
still,
good
yeah.
solid reason?
If you're
for
dead
it?
wrong, you have a good solid reason for being dead wrong, you're still dead wrong. But
we just get half
If
for
you're-
perspiration.
no. No. Your inspiration has to be inspired. Like, for example, in 26 and 27, there is no right answer. 26 and 27, I mean, there's no cut and dried answer. So those are like a guarantee for you.
What if you get one of the multiple choice rounds and you have a good solid answer?
Well, I gave you half a credit for that one that you...
If that was only half a credit, what if I have like everything else right?
You want to get everything else right first.
We have a cricket.
It's got adjustable legs and all. And it'll just use squares and fabrication to make it vertical. Look at anyway, look at the difference. Alright. Wait, we don't have 4 up there. We're only doing lesson 3 there. My Luke was all wrong. Apparently, right?
I don't think I can do this lesson
Is it worth this?
We did lesson 2 yesterday.
That's what I thought. We were looking at subjunctive and saying, oh, that's interesting. Okay, what's indicative and imperative? Like verb moods. What's imperative? Tell me about that. Right. So the two most common are the imperative and the indicative. On page 4.
Declarative states.
Declarative is basically indicative. They just change the mood on you. And they just change the name, right? So rather than say declarative, now they say indicative. Why? Oh, pizza. We have, it doesn't have to make sense. Pizza doesn't make sense. Because it doesn't.
Pizza.
Huh?
Pizza.
Well, even that. I'm just saying, you get a round pizza, you cut it in triangles, put it in a square box. Why?
Can you make around office for you?
No, I'm not particularly worried about that. I'm just like, well, why? Why would we do that? Why don't we make a square pizza? It'd be easier to make a round pizza.
Squares are way harder because you have to roll it out.
I'm just saying, from a mathematical standpoint, pizza is strange. All right.
Pizza is comfort. I don't care how it should be.
Pizza's comfort food?
It's high in carbs.
Exactly.
Carbs
Pizza
make
is
you
something
happy.
you eat for supper. It's not that great.
Okay, but here's the deal. Carbohydrates are foods that they make you happy. Like they actually trigger some endorphins and stuff.
Okay.
Anything carb loaded is comfort food. Pizza, therefore, is comfort. As is
Ice cream,
ice cream,
spaghetti,
spaghetti,
popcorn.
ice cream.
I don't like spaghetti
Popcorn,
very
not
much as
really.
I like pizza.
Yeah, pizza is great. Well, I don't see why it's
Bread.
comfort food.
Bread, a cracker.
Quit acting like Isaac Richard.
Anything carb loaded. Yeah, Richard B. White, my favorite
We're
food.
related.
All right. So, indicative just simply means declarative. It's just that it's
Where
very
does
slow.
it say that from?
On top of page 4. Well, bottom of page 4, really.
That's it. It doesn't
Page
say
4?
anything.
You're on the wrong lesson.
You're on the wrong book. Here, listen. Thought I saw like
English 4, yeah, that'll do it. Why do I keep grabbing the wrong book? I thought I sorted them all, so now I have to go find the other ones. Yeah, I have everybody here, you know. I have you way ahead of schedule.
No, I mean, like, are we actually? Are we behind?
Shouldn't be behind.
Say what?
You shouldn't be behind.
No, well, we're not really
Good
ahead.
language every day.
Oh, yes, progressive tenses. So that does explain it. We talked about progressive tenses, and I remember that. All right. What was I thinking? What was it? What was going on? Progressives and perfect progressives. So what? So past tense always has which verbs? Past. Any past. So like a past. Say what?
Oh, easy.
No. What? It has helping verbs.
Had.
past was, so like a past progressive would be
Was worth.
was were, yes, that's past. Present, it's and is, especially present progressive. Present perfect progressive gets have, has.
Have and been.
Have and yeah, has and have been. Whatever. There's a chart. I will make one. All right, so we went through 12, I believe.
Through 18.
Through 18. We went all through 18.
No.
I don't think
Wait,
so.
did we?
No, I don't think so. 13.
We kind of did.
Had brought. Yeah, we kind of did it, but we didn't really go through and finalize and nail it down. 13. Had brought is past perfect. 14. Said is past. 15. Was choosing is past progressive. 16. Will rise is future. 17. Will be singing is future progressive. 18. Has been studying is present perfect progressive.
What's future perfect?
Future perfect would be. There's no future perfect here. 17 is future
I
progressive.
know, but what is a perfect?
A
Is it
perfect?
will have things like future perfect?
Future perfect would be will
They don't just
There
have
isn't.
straight future.
will be thinking instead of will have been.
Oh, they
No.
have so many different ones on
Progressive.
that top.
Is it
one.
Future progressive is will be.
Well, then it has future,
Will be
future,
studied.
progressive, future,
Yeah,
perfect.
that
what?
is, number 17 is will be.
Oh, right.
Future progressive.
Wouldn't future
Future
perfect
progressive is what I
progressive?
said. I'm sorry, I was on progressive instead of perfect. Future perfect is will have.
Will have.
So it would be will have some would be future perfect.
Oh.
Will have some would be future perfect. But will be singing is future progressive. Will have some, basically, perfect means it kind of ended already, like you never talk about it ongoing if it's perfect. No. It was just perfect. It was just perfect. It was perfect progressive. And it has gone and will go or whatever. Memorization is what I can figure. 19. The high priest carried the altar. That's what we're looking for. 20 is wearily. 21 not. 22 of the Baroque era is your phrase and its adjective. On the gallows, 23. On the gallows is an adverb. For Mordecai is adverb. How we going? 24. About the mark is adjective. Of an immediate life is adjective. 5. I is the subject. It is a verb. It is a direct object for the sentence. The clause is, although Sarah had mailed the letter last week. By the way, not goes under did get, and until today also goes under did get.
I don't remember that.
That would be that. So now you have although on your dotted line between did get and had mailed because it had verb clause. And the Sarah is your subject of your clause, had mailed is the verb, the letter is the direct object of your clause. The is under letter. Last week. Week is an adverb under had mailed, and then last is also an adverb under week. I will check 26. Later.
I didn't do it.
5,
I didn't do
30.
it.
You didn't do it? Oh, did I say you didn't have to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. 26, 27. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You went up to 50.
I've been on up to 40. Well, I'm wrong with 97. 2 is 95. 3 is 92. 4 is 90. 5 is 97. 6 is 85. 7 is 82. 8 is 79.
I would say if you're doing language or 95 and above, I might get it. 98 and a
Going down to
95.
75 or something.
I know. You should have gone down to about 85.
That's an open window. Gotta keep the bar high, so someday you can work.
I aimed
So
for,
when
but
they're over it.
I missed by a long shot.
Alright, I probably don't have to tell you too much about punctuation marks.
As long as you can skip number 1.
No. So, like, on page 10, where it says, according to history, upon which occasion did Archimedes say Eureka? Notice how the question mark is outside of the quotations, and that's because the question is not Eureka. Eureka is not a question. Eureka is an exclamation.
Tap on that.
Page 10, about halfway down, well, actually, at the bottom of the reading. It says, according to history, upon which occasion did Archimedes say Eureka? Eureka is inside the quotation marks, obviously, but the question mark is outside.
This is what I think. You know,
And that's because the question is the rest of the sentence.
that's what I hate about getting them in or out. Yeah.
And
Last
the
year, I
next
didn't
one,
get those ones. I was
That-
getting them wrong.
the next sentence as well, with, I realized David had owned the first 5 books of the Bible. And the lights in the law.
Those like kind of like boring books for the moment.
Kind of. Alright, we are going to go to punctuated titles, though. It's kind of ease over the.
These are actually the easy ones.
Yeah, well, we're just going to ease over the quotation marks. Basically, just follow the.
Yeah, but then
Follow
where it
the
says quit the congressman, whatever his name is, on that one, so Peanuts will put the livestock industry out of business. Guess that's what.
So, which is the question?
Peanuts will put the livestock industry out of business. That's what you put on the round.
So, yeah, like, you put that, this said in that case, you would put it on the outside of the exclamation.
Yeah.
So you usually put it outside.
Usually you put it outside, it's rarely.
But then
inside.
after it says ask that man. One.
Ask Congressman Barkley, where did you learn all this? So is he asking, is the question part of the things that he's saying? Where did you learn all this? Asked Congressman Barkley.
Yeah, that's outside too.
That's outside as well. The only time you put the question mark or exclamation mark outside of it is when whatever the guy is saying is not the question or the exclamation. The rest of the sentence is. Like David didn't exclaim, I delight in thy law.
That one's a little bit.
That one's sketchy. I would actually probably give grace for that one. But in this case, he's saying, David did not exclaim, I delight in thy law. He just said, I delight in thy law. The exclamation is, I am amazed that he could say, I delight in thy law. So the exclamation is not what he's saying, it's outside that. That's the thing to keep in mind. All right, punctualizing, Jay, Bible. The whole thing should be italicized as a rule. Short parts of books, such as titles or in quotations. Like the Chicago Tribune. So the Chicago Tribune is not part of the title, so it doesn't get italicized. The trick is to know when it is and when it isn't. Software programs as well, apparently. Spaceships, boats, trains.
Are apps considered software?
Yes. Quotation marks around titles of things, short stories, poems, songs, and chapters. Alright, let's just do a couple of these. Number 2, quotations or under or italics.
What's a long poem or not?
Sunday mornings. Figure it's a short poem, unless it's said.
It's gonna be quotation marks.
Quotations on Sunday mornings. What about number 3, Christy?
That's underlined.
Great. Italics is what we're looking for, so I. Italics and underlining is the same thing. It's just that it's hard to italicize Number 9. Where do the quotation marks go? Where is the question mark inside or outside of the quotation?
You put double quotation marks in? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
don't
yeah,
have
the
to
question
put
here
it
is not, is well with my soul. Obviously, so the question mark was all right. Anything else that runs the throw at you in a silly, complicated way? Not really. It's all fairly straightforward, or you can look back for it. Ooh! 21, the first vacuum cleaner was pulled by a team of horses. How would you make that? How would you make that?
A team of
active?
horses pull.
A team of horses pulled the
Yeah,
first
about
vacuum.
12 though.
That's correct. So is it in passive or active voice?
Oh, right now it's in passive.
Right now it's in passive, yes. So you write passive and then you rewrite it in active. Yes.
I need help.
You aren't done with me? Okay. Well, then can your help wait until class time?
Well, according to. Boy, it's just a quick question.
I know, quick questions turn into long questions.
This one, now by mistake open trade.
Okay.
Is that what's
Good.
Yes,
Yes, but the semicolon is outside that. So make sure that the semicolon is outside of that because
So
you
it
put
gets from
semicolons
now.
from now to charity. Make sure the semicolon is outside of it.
So the semicolon's inside the quotation.
Outside the quotations.
I don't like when you make you do that. You do it like this one.
I know. What about number 11?
And you go and then you probably reply. But it's see and it's inside.
Which side of the explanation? The explanation is in infancy. I mean, what he's saying is. So you would write, yeah. It would be ... infancy. Like that. Because that's part of the explanation that he's saying. It's like, I didn't know that. What in the world? I was like, what could go wrong? All right.
Is heroin and illegal drug a principal female character in the story? In the,
Both.
Of the spelling words, which one is it referring to?
It's referring to the, if it's capitalized, then it's the illegal drug. I'll put it that way. Spelled the same way.
And if the H is lowercase, it's a female character.
Yes. All right. So I checked number 5 for you. Let's go to page number 6, though. We got to do 1 through 4. Okay, quotation marks from where to write. Number
Where's
2
this?
in number 1 on page 6. From where to write. Number 2 from house to cattle. Outside of the question mark there. Number 3 from child to floor. There again, outside the
Did we do this in class?
we did some of them. From ooh to mouth, outside the again. And then hey Dave, outside that. And then are you starving Jeannie to floor. Number 4 from you to them. The first paragraph. You said that you hope you get a copy when so just take them. Then the second paragraph, that was during the war. Quotation marks outside of that. Joseph said, then quotation mark, George Washington's soldiers, and then the whole way down to the end at them. We were dismayed, in quotation marks, and after on, down to the war at the end of the paragraph. way to complicate that. Because depending on how you wrote that, you would not need that one on the end of the second paragraph in 4. So like if somebody's talking for 2 paragraphs, you don't close in a paragraph, and you don't close in the first paragraph, right? Over here on number 6. On number 6, no, page 6, go up to the second from the bottom blue thing. It says, I don't know where any of them live. That's the guy talking, right? I don't know where any of them live. Notice how there's no quotation marks at the end? And I said, I did hear that one of the best periods of traveling through there's quotation marks at the beginning and the end. It closes it in. That's because that guy kept talking for another paragraph. So that's why I'm a little confused why they have that one on the end of the second paragraph before. I guess it's because there's the Joseph went on in the last paragraph. Ugh. Page 8, number 6. Was 7R. 8. Carolyn is the subject, struck is the verb, glass is a direct object. Quickly and carefully are adverbs with and in between them on a dotted line. Up is also an adverb. Are they sweating?
Uh-oh, I have that.
So I have up the broken glass as a prepositional phrase.
Unfortunately, no. Broken is not a
What if I have up on the verb one?
No, it's an adjective.
Right not.
So
How many
do I
rows?
count
It's an
that?
adverb, I mean.
How does that count that one?
That'll be, you count 1 for that. Then the is under glass and broken is, hang on a second. I got this.
Is it a person?
Verb form uses an adjective, yes, participle.
I don't have it as a
How do you-
participle.
Then it's a participle under glass.
I don't remember how to diagram
Broken.
participle.
I don't have it under, I don't
So you
have
have it under
participle.
glass, broken.
How many rounds is that? If I don't have it as a participle, but I have it.
Why don't you
in
count
this.
that 1 for each word, and that way we can get more points. In the end, your score will be higher. That's a lot,
That's
all
like-
teachers tell you.
4 points
Good.
off.
Huh?
So that's like 4 points
If
off.
4 words wrong, it's 4 points.
So if I got that one, that broken on, is it 1 off?
That's 1 off. All right, 9. Verb, when the subject is a driver with a dog underneath it. And then the verbs are was going and lost. So it's a compound verb. And depending obviously on a dotted line. Control is a direct object of lost. So you lost control. And then under was going, you should have too fast. So you have this situation, too fast.
Situation.
Yes. And then on the gravel road is a prepositional phrase under was going with the on gravel modifying the road. Then you have your clause. Who caused the accident? Who is the subject? Cause is a verb. Accident is a direct object. The B is under accident. Dotted line between driver and who. Number 10. We would say that should be 870 BC should be as numbers, so 870 BC. 11. Spell out 9 and 23. 12. Yes. 12. Hanging is adjourned. Hanging wallpaper is the phrase. We did 13 in class. 14. Kimberly, algebra, and Spanish need to be capitalized. 15. Say what?
How many would be a half row?
They're a half piece, yes. 15. Covinson's appliance, furniture, store, mom, dad. 16. Excuse, senator, presidents. That's it. 16 is for 17. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. The whole NATO needs to be capitalized.
So treaty and organization. Organization. Those both.
North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All 4 of those words, the first letters need to be capitalized, and then NATO is all of them.
Isn't there a communist?
Huh?
Right.
No, not communism. Communism is not.
Is that on the fourth one?
Mr. I think I have a typo in that book. On number 18, it says charity begins at home, but shouldn't
Shouldn't end there.
shouldn't
Shouldn't, it's a dialect here.
It's that same
Misspelling.
something
Same
like
is,
that.
same is saying,
Retarded.
same as writing out ain't. Shouldn't do it. But if you're trying to emulate a dialect,
What was
then
it
you
called?
will.
What was 15 and 16 again?
15 and 16? 15. Cognizance, appliance, furniture, store, mom, dad, whirlpool. 16, excuse, senator, president. 18, colon after proverb. And colon after follows in 19. 20, well, 21, bad, 22, really. 24, jugular, 25, fort, 26, grimace, 27, realtor, 28, altercation, 29, memorable, 30, contrary, 31, obituary, 32, bachelor, 33, superfluous. Ooh, Miss Amy spelled superfluous wrong. That's kind of cool. 34, athlete, 35, memento, 36, dexterous, 37, pathos, 38, implacable, 39, heroin, 40, impossible, no, impossible, hospitable, 40 is hospitable, I was looking at 41, infamous, 42, duplicate, 43, vehement.
Do you think I got a lot wrong there?
Huh?
I said I got a lot wrong there.
What bad is it?
I don't know, there's seven on the back.
Yeah, I got a lot wrong. Don't remember.
Hopefully there's a lot of points.
There had better be a lot of points.
I got like
Not
a lot wrong.
7, 8,
Even if there's 100 points, it's 30.
5,
Yeah.
round it up to 100,
There you go.
150.
86, 87, 89,
Dude, or that 4
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2.
Mine is actually going to be pretty decent with
At
that.
103, it's just going to be a point apiece. So you're done
And a half
So
rounds
I-
down.
87, I
I
think.
have 20 wrong.
And a half rounds down.
I have 20
Yeah,
wrong.
a half round.
20 wrong is going to be 81.
No,
13 and a half rounds is 87.
So 2.5 wrong would be
Yes.
2.5 wrong would be
Actually,
98.
yours,
What's 14 and a half
would
wrong?
be 88, because of the way that's going to work, yes?
What's 14 and a half?
14 and a half is going to be an 87.
2.5 would be
Oh.
98.
Yeah.
Richard, how did you get that good grade?
I'm just naturally smart.
Yeah, right, at language.
We're going to put you in a
kidding.
gifted class, so you can be wrong sometimes too.
Just kidding.
Don't give the extra.
I just can't pass up a chance to be sarcastic.
Alright. Positives. So we obviously already worked with positives, correct? We have, or is it English? I can never keep which one is us. Pretty sure we talked about positives. Basically, what is a positive?
It's like renames something. I mean, it's the same thing, just use a different name.
Right. Basically, it renames it without using a linking verb, right? Like the first sentence on page 10. My friends Francois and Jean live in France.
Where's your
Francois.
Francois,
Where is this?
the top of
Is
page
it
10.
Sean?
Hmm?
Or
Francois.
Jean.
Jean?
Jean.
Jean. So I had a Haitian friend called Jean. And that's how you spell his name. Jean. Francine Jean. So,
He looks like you.
but that's why we get confused with French terminology. All right. So, positive phrases, let's find them. And so you need
Jimmy, Toby.
so you need to circle the, you need to underline the appositives, appositive phrases, circle the appositives, and put parentheses around the appositive, word the appositive name. Basically, an appositive has to be a noun, so there's going to be words obviously modifying it. So,
Jim, Tony, and Luke.
Jim, Tony, and Luke are appositive. What are they renaming?
Brothers.
Put parentheses around brothers.
And Jim told me.
There's another one in number 1.
Pet store zoo.
A pet store is underlined, that's an appositive phrase. Which one is circled in there? Store. And what are you renaming?
The zoo.
The zoo. The whole zoo.
What is underlined then?
A pet store. That's an appositive
This
phrase.
is hard on me.
You'll get that.
Language is hard.
That's the way learning is. Learning is hard sometimes. It's not all fun and games and teachers talking about hunting. Number 2.
I wish.
I know. We could have a hunting class.
Hovercraft.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be fun.
That would be worthwhile.
We'll start with little things like frogs and bugs.
Yeah.
Work our way up to big
Bucket
things.
stuff.
Bucket
Elk
stuff.
and elephants.
Just a whole bunch of bucket stuff.
There
That's
That
the
would
way
be
it is.
fun.
You have to learn tracking and stalking and calling.
I already know all
Calling
that.
into
You can't really call it a fly.
Oh, he saw me. But Campbell wasn't good enough.
It just smelled me.
Yeah. Struggle. Number 2.
So you underline the hovercraft.
The hovercraft and the hydrofoil. The whole thing. The hovercraft and the hydrofoil.
Circle, hydrofoil, and hovercraft.
And hovercraft. Hydrofoil and hovercraft. They're both down.
Parentheses. Shit.
Parentheses around ships. Perfect. What about number 3? Leah, I need your help because you've been quiet because of this.
Underline two Japanese islands.
Yes, you do. What is your positive in there? No. Japanese is being an adjective.
Islands.
Islands, yes.
And there's the world's longest suspension.
Hang on. Wait.
When you
We
put
haven't
that
done
there
the
on
parentheses.
Shiko and Haichu.
Hanshu and Shikoku.
Imagine if you
Alright,
lived
then.
on an island called that.
Shikoku. It's possible. I've lived on an island before.
Where was it located?
Haiti. Oh, God.
Did
There's
you
one
guys
more.
ever meet each other in Haiti?
Yeah?
Yeah, we walked past
I
each other
need
in
to.
Haiti.
No, we went to Austria.
Yeah.
And I came to visit school.
I think I picked an hour or
picked
something.
one.
Yeah, because we were just sitting. I can't
I
remember.
never actually lived
I can't remember.
Oh, yes, and
I don't remember anything significant. He was a much shorter person then. That's a long time ago. I almost
No.
5 years.
Yeah.
We were still back at Halsey.
Yeah.
We
We went with
It
Jamie.
was a
We went
long
with
time
Jamie
ago.
and Scott. So there's.
we went just by around.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that
I
happening.
think.
Yikes.
Tyler,
It was a
I remember
memorable
Tyler
occasion.
laying on the picnic table up behind Will's house and showing him. Right.
You?
I remember. Yeah.
You? Showed them?
Tyler, my son, you know the little guy?
Yeah.
You were. How old was he?
He's gonna be 5 in December.
No, when you were starting off.
About 4 months.
He's getting a head start. He didn't even start showing up until he was at least 1. But like he
Sophie's
just,
already
once he
showed
did,
off.
he showed.
Little
off.
Trevor showed off way before he was. Justice shows off. So
Our
like
children
you.
unfortunately show off at young ages. Don't know where they could have gotten that. All right. We
You
do
never guess.
Yeah. My wife probably. She doesn't have any of it left. All right. What is? There's one more. A positive in number 3. We're probably not
The
gonna-
world's longest suspension
Yeah,
One of the
bridge.
longest suspended bridges in the phrase.
Circle bridge.
Circle bridge.
And he put parentheses around hashtag or whatever.
Akashi Kai.
Are you supposed
Whatever.
to-
Kai.
Akashi Kaiko.
Akashi Kaiko.
Yes, you have to use yours. The Akashi Kaiko Bridge. Because it's a proper noun. Yeah.
Because it's a noun proper.
Alright. Whoa, you put your book back already? Here, take it back. Put it back in your pocket or wherever it takes there. Put it on. Well done. Alright, so you already know how to diagram them, like say if it's naming a direct object, you just simply put it on the, well, let's do number 4 real quick. You is the verb, I mean the subject.
Have.
You is the subject.
Have seen.
Have seen is the verb.
Ever the adverb.
Ever goes under have seen.
Ever is
Whatever raffle, whatever.
Rafflesia.
Rafflesia.
Is that a?
That's a direct object.
That's a direct object, that's correct.
And smart.
Okay. And A goes under Rafflesia. I got that myself. Without looking at the answer. That's a lie. Alright, now we have our positive, which we have to diagram.
Yeah.
Plant.
Just plant is our positive.
If
Right, it goes on the same line as
with a
Rafflesia.
gigantic moon.
Where are you at here?
Plant goes on the same line as Rafflesia, that's your positive. You put parentheses around it.
Then you have and a plant, and then prepositional position of whatever phrase with a gigantic moon.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not seeing. You're not I'm not seeing how you're getting this. Like, driving.
Okay, so we go, we have our subject, you have seen Rafflesia,
Yeah.
right? Oh, direct object, my bad. Plant
I'm gonna do parentheses.
in parentheses.
And then everything goes under that.
And everything that describes, everything that's part of the positive phrase.
Oh, yes.
All right. Comma versus no comma. A positive phrase that should be set off from the rest of the sentence, but commas, except if it's a single word, a positive. So like my friend Marie would be no commas. So number 6.
Between Paul and
Between Paul and A. There's another one.
After pilot.
After 5, yes.
After anti-deformed markers. We did number 7.
Number 7, yeah, go ahead.
And after anti-deformed whatever.
There is none in number 7.
There isn't any?
No.
Oh, no.
Because from the New World is describing composition, of course, but it's just a single noun. So
After Saudi Arabia.
after Saudi Arabia and
Country.
And peninsula.
Peninsula. A barren desert country on the Arabian Peninsula. All right. Go to number 10. Yes.
After friend.
No. Nope, afraid not.
After Sanchez.
Nope, not there either.
After Charles.
Nope, not even close.
What?
There is none.
There is none.
I'm smart.
How many hair? Cody is.
There is none because it's a single word or it's a single noun, a proper
In
noun.
number 9.
Single thing.
After
Yeah, there is. In number 9 there is.
After virus.
After
Oh, yeah.
virus.
I'm smart.
So there's also one on 11,
Yeah.
top of page 12. Do not miss that one, you can do that on yourself. And then using a positive to combine sentences also happens that Jupiter, the 5th planet from the sun, rotates faster than any other planet in the solar system. Basically, you can describe something and use that to attach a sentence together in the middle. So basically, if you want to describe catacombs in this situation, you say persecuted Christians in Rome sought refuge in the catacombs.
Network 7.
A network of underground corridors and rooms. So you're using the positive to simply combine them.
I've just kind of raised this diagram is a pain in the neck. Dr. Psyche. Dr. Psyche.
I will hold off on spelling words for a minute.
Number 7.
Or like,
Probably till this afternoon sometime.
or like,
I know you like spelling words, but gently stroke the plant.
Gideon, he was, when Gideon pet something,
There's one.
and so like he'll go and he'll get a cat and just he got a cat in his we yanked his tail. And I was like, Gideon, no, bad boy. And he looks at me guiltily.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, Kevin does that. He'll grab the dog and he'll just start pulling their ears and he'll start, and he'll point at him whatever and start telling him, and then he'll immediately just start shooting.
Yeah,
I think our dog has successfully retarded a cat. I think you bit him in the wrong spot.
Which cat?
Got a cat from,
That's funny.
They got 2 cats from us.
yeah.
On this
One of them is not the same as it was.
You can have another one if you get another one.
That's funny.
We have 2 kittens and there's a lot of them.
We have
You guys
4
will all
kittens,
large,
8
like,
dogs.
All right.
But 2 to use. And our cat is pregnant.
We had like 5 of them.
That's enough. Because of.
Because then to use, we have to underline. So can you do both? Is it just 2 years?
Because.
So this is like.
Mm-hmm.
Are both of them though? Or just 2 years?
You're saying because of the.
Nothing.
I think that has to do with the. It was difficult. I mean, it's obviously.
I think it's both. Because that answers why. Because. So. I just haven't done both for difficult.
It was difficult, yeah.
That's what after was.
Was difficult as a verb.
Quite is. Oh, quite, yeah. Oh, this one right here, about them, is that something you want to know?
Do we know what else they do?
Oh, I know.
We know the will. The will, that we want to know about. Let me check that for sure. I'm not sure if that's more really possible, I guess.
Which one are you on? I have wild machine.
Okay, they have little as a direct object,
Yeah, that's what I have.
and then about them underneath it.
Okay. That's all I have on that.
Let me check this one here. Yes, you're right on the because going to difficult and to use as well. Always quite interesting. In the old hooks and eyes scenario, something that Amish people are allowed to use, hooks and eyes, are allowed to use buttons. Always,
They use pins.
yeah, use pins.
The pins. That'd be such a pain having to pin yourself onto it.
Well, it's like that story where the pin fell down his, whatever, the pin from his collar fell down his back or whatever, and jabbed him in 17 different places. Creative ways.
Just a pin too.
Yes, I would allow that. Hang on a second while I find mine. I can
See, like, if I
check.
had my bubble salt that fast sitting right there, it would be dead. Now, if I try to get it with my.
Can we bring our bonus something to school?
That sounds like a bad idea generally.
But I think some of them have it.
What in the, where'd my thing
Wait, do you
go?
have a bubble salt?
Yeah, yeah. No, they use the
We can have a whole bug of salt more.
butter salt. Butter salt, oh.
Okay, hang on.
You can just use mine.
I know I have one, but Sure, I'll use it.
Is it on that thing now?
Nope.
Finally, be all of one mind, having compassion on one another, lovers for them, weakness will be curious, not rendering evil for evil or erring for evil. The contrary blessing, knowing that you are going to call, that you should inherit a blessing. And he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his lips, that they speak in God. Let him eschew evil and do good, let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
Good job, Richard.
Oh.
My turn to set.
Hang on a second, let me whip up Bob. Go ahead, King.
I lost my thing briefly. Throw mine in the most inconvenient time. Go.
Finally, ye all of one mind, having compassion one on another, lovers rather than be faithful, be courteous. Not rendering evil for evil or railing for ill, but contrary-wise blessing, knowing that you will inherit, knowing that you are heirs to God, that you should inherit a blessing. Had it in my head, but I don't. Let him that will see good days, let him. I'm gonna have to study it.
Mr. Frank, can me and Krista go sit about it?
Yeah, I suppose.
So, for tomorrow, what, so I just need to do math?
I would say, so you're gonna be gone till,
1 o'clock, maybe? I think that's what I would say. 1:30.
why don't you do a lesson in math and language?
You have reading?
There is reading as well, but
You can do that.
I think you can probably take care of that. Yeah, if you're back by 1, I think you'll have time. Take care of reading
I'm
even.
trying to say it. Finally, ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, and lovers brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. Not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrary-wise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing. Let him that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil and his eschew evil and do good, let him seek peace and consider it. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them which do evil.
Okay, how much is it per word? You missed, I mean, you got some, about two of them mixed around there on verse 10. That's,
I want to get
that's 4 points.
I'm gonna get out of shots.
Okay.
But that was 1, 2, 3 words.
Yeah.
That's, I think it's from 4 to 7, I think is, what, 3 points apiece? 2
Yeah,
points
no, but
apiece?
that's 5 verses, so.
Yeah. So it's 5 verses, so it'd be 2 points apiece, so it'd be a 96 or whatever. But if you want to get a higher score, I will stand behind you on that. It's just, yeah, your start there was a little rocky.
Start on.
On lesson, on verse 10.